Alright, so now we're going to deal with a unique case called extraneous solutions. And what that means is that even though we do everything right, we break up our absolute value equation into two equations and then we solve for x and we get two separate x values. When we check our work, one of the x values doesn't work. So therefore, we name it an extraneous solution. We have to reject that answer, and our x will only be one value. Well, to show that, we use the equation for absolute value x plus 2, close the absolute value sign, equals 16x. From our rules, we know that before we can split the absolute value into two separate equations, it needs to stand alone. So in order to stand alone, we need to divide the entire absolute value, whatever is outside the absolute value sign, by 4, and wherever we do on the left-hand side, we have to do on the right-hand side. And we get absolute value 2x plus 12 is equal to 4x. Now that the absolute value is standing alone on the left-hand side, we can break this equation up into our two equations of 2x plus 12 equals 4x and 2x plus 12 equals negative 4x. Again, we are 4x away from 0, or we are at negative 4x, which again is 4x away from 0. We solve this just like any other equation. We subtract 2x from both sides. We get 12 is equal to 2x. We then divide by 2 to get x by itself. And we see that x is equal to 6. On the right-hand side, we subtract 12. Well, instead of subtracting 12, we could just subtract the 2x. We subtract the 2x, and we get 12 is equal to negative 6x. We divide by a negative 6. We divide by a negative 6, and we get that x is equal to negative 2. Alright, now that we found our two x values that could possibly satisfy the equation, we must check using our original equation. So when we check, let's check x equals 6 first, and we get that for absolute value 2 times 6 plus 12 equals 16 times 6. And we get for absolute value 12 plus 12 equals 96. We get for absolute value 24 equals 96. 24 comes out, the absolute value is 4 times 24, which equals 96. And we can see that 96 indeed equals 96. Check. Therefore, x equaling 6 works. Alright, now that we checked for x equaling 6, now we must check for x equaling negative 2. Again, using the original equation, for absolute value 2 times negative 2 plus 12 equals 4 equals 16. I apologize. 16 times negative 2. And we get 4 absolute value -4 plus 12 is equal to -32. We get 4 absolute value 8 is equal to -32. The 8 comes out of the absolute value as a positive 8. And we see that 32 on the left-hand side equals -32 on the right-hand side. So therefore this is incorrect. And since this is incorrect, we cannot take x equaling -2 as a answer for the equation that we had above. Therefore, that's an extraneous solution, and we only have one solution of x equaling 6 that makes the absolute value equation true. If we were to graph this answer on a number line, we would have our number line with our important point at 6. We would be including the number 6, so there would be a circle, and it would be filled in. And that is exactly how you would graph the absolute value equation, showing that 6 is your only answer. In interval notation, it would be bracket 6, since 6 is the only number that works.